An early Independence Day celebration just wrapped up. The city of Glendale kicked off their 4th of July fun with this fireworks show. It's a nice night to soak it all in. You might not get quite so lucky on the actual 4th of July. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. Let's get right to 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi as we head down into this holiday weekend, Chris, with some increased storm chances ahead.
Yeah, those chances kind of tick up as we head over the next few days. Now, the good news is we are not talking about a washout on the 4th of July. You might think back to 2 years ago. We had almost a full inch of rain in Denver on the 4th of July itself. This is not going to be one of those years. However, we will have some isolated storms around during the afternoon. Right now, it is very warm outside, considering the sun went down an hour and a half ago. Still 81 degrees for us in the 9 News backyard. A little cooler out by the airport. That mostly due to the urban heat island for us here in Denver at 68 degrees for us out at the airport. 70s Eastern Plains, 60s and 70s in the high country. Rain basically done for us here in the high country. Still a few drips of rain for us from Craig on west and Steamboat. Maybe a few showers still lingering there in the Yampa Valley. Forecast next few hours in Denver. We were dry today. We're going to stay dry tonight and to tomorrow morning. However, we may not be as lucky for tomorrow and for Friday. We'll break down in detail the timing of those storms on the 4th of July and look ahead to that full 7-day outlook in just a few minutes.
New tonight, Aurora police say they have issued an arrest warrant for the man they believe stabbed 2 people to death over the weekend. They had previously named Ricky Roybal Smith as a person of interest. He's currently in custody in Denver, where he's accused of killing his cellmate. Aurora police say he'll now be charged with first-degree murder there.
A deadly crash on I-70 eastbound near Lyman today shut the highway down for hours. Colorado State Patrol says 3 people were killed, including 2 children.
This happened about an hour-and-a-half's drive east of Denver. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj has the latest from Elbert County.
Well, traffic is flowing clearly tonight on I-70, but the investigation has only just begun. Colorado State Patrol says the crash happened around 2:30 this afternoon around milepost 348. That's the Cedar Point exit, roughly 13 miles west of Lyman. Now, troopers say 4 people were traveling inside a blue 2021 Subaru Forester when they rear-ended a semi-truck. Now, 3 people were killed, including 2 children. The driver of the Subaru was taken to hospital. We don't know how they're doing tonight. The driver of the semi was not hurt. Now, the eastbound lanes were shut down here for more than 5 hours today, and that led to a major backup. CSP was actually detouring people off I-70 in Byers to take US 36 to County Road 71 into Lyman. Now, the cause of the crash remains under investigation. In the meantime, we are working to learn more about the people inside that Subaru and just how the driver is doing tonight. In Elbert County, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
Floor in Washington, where Republicans are currently stalled in their effort to pass a bill supporting President Trump's agenda. This is the so-called Big Beautiful Bill that would make cuts to Medicaid and cuts to food assistance to pay for tax cuts and increase spending on mass deportations. So they're considering the Senate version of this bill. They're currently voting on a rule ahead of time. This is a procedural vote, but Republicans do not have the votes to pass it. There are enough Republican holdouts right now to kill it. They're not going to let it die, so they're just holding it open while they arm twist into the late night hours, well, actually now Thursday morning in Washington. The only Republican from Colorado hesitating on those Medicaid cuts was Jeff Hurd, who represents western and southern Colorado and the largest percentage of Medicaid recipients in the state. Hurd had signed on to a letter saying that he could not support the deep Medicaid cuts in the Senate bill. Well, tonight his spokesman tells me he will support the bill. Trump administration's proposed budget for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration could leave about 1,000 scientists in Colorado out of a job. That budget proposal was posted this week. It eliminates all funding for Boulder's 4 NOAA research labs. It's according to CoLabs, which promotes the work coming out of the labs, like the Climate Science Research Team that works on climate impact and better forecasting. Between the scientists at Boulder's NOAA labs and the researchers at the Cooperative Institute between NOAA, CU, and CSU, about 1,000 scientists all told in Colorado would be out of work if Congress approves that budget.
Choose from a political perspective that simply is information that we don't want to know anymore, that on its face, it's not valuable. is striking and confusing.
NOAA sent us a generic statement saying they're still dedicated to their mission.
The Trump administration is withholding over $6 billion in federal funding for K through 12 schools. Colorado's Department of Education says schools around the state stand to lose $70 million in federal funding that's already been approved by Congress. The freeze impacts after school and summer programs, English language instruction, and adult literacy. State education officials say the Trump administration told them they're reviewing the funding to make sure it's in line with the president's priorities. School districts in Colorado expected the money yesterday. There's no timeline on when that money could come in. We now know the human remains found at Rocky Mountain National Park 2 weeks ago were found by a family visiting from out of town.
9 News reporter Rhea Jha joins us with that. And Rhea, this happened right near a popular trail.
Yeah, it was right near the visitor center, and I spoke with the mom who said she knew it was real because of what was around it. Socks, pants, and boots still strapped onto the feet. They took pictures to prove it, but we won't be showing any of those visuals.
What are the chances 4 people from Illinois find something like that?
Christina Chavez is someone who believes in fate.
We feel that there's a reason for it.
A reason her family couldn't have imagined when they left Illinois 2 weeks ago.
So we decided to take our first big family vacation. It was my husband, myself, our 12-year-old son, and our 5-year-old daughter.
They drove 15 hours.
We drove through the Rocky Mountain National Park, and our goal was to get to that Alpine Visitor Center. And my son, who's 12, he started walking towards the larger pile of rocks. My son states, I think I found a dead body.
Husband says no way and takes a look for himself.
It was completely out in the open. It was 200 yards off the little path from the visitor center. I look at it. I instantly knew it was real.
A human skeleton a few hundred feet away from the Alpine Visitor Center.
We instantly grabbed the park rangers.
Park rangers told her the snow melted in that area just 2 weeks before. But Christina still wonders why no one found the body before her 12-year-old son.
Why was it out in the open? And do they do any foot patrol? It's difficult as a parent to know that your child has seen something that they can never unsee.
The Larimer County Coroner's Office is confirming the person's identity, and reaching their family could take months. But it's a name Christina and her family are hoping to learn too.
Give their family some answers and hopefully some closure. It would be nice to connect with the family because we do feel connected with this individual.
So there's only been 2 known disappearances in the park since 2019. So far, officials said none of those cases align with these remains. Rocky Mountain National Park police are investigating, but haven't told us yet if they believe this person's death is suspicious. Rhea Jha, 9 News.
For only the second time, CU regents have censured one of their own. Democratic Regent Wanda James was censured and stripped of her official duties today. She's in an elected position, so they can't remove her. James gathered with supporters as she participated virtually in the meeting where she was censured. This is over her response to a CU Anschutz anti-marijuana campaign. She called it out for having racist imagery. CU agreed and removed the images. But according to the investigation presented to regents, James, who's a well-known entrepreneur in the cannabis industry, then made several requests for the state funding for that ad campaign to be removed. The regents voted 7-1 to censure her, strip her of her committee assignments, and not allow her to officially represent the university as a regent.
You're going to tell black students that you're not going to allow me to go to a graduation or a football game because I stood up for racism a little bit too hard? Oh my God.
James is now the second regent to be censured. The first was Republican Regent Glenn Gallegos in 2022. He was censured for behavior that was deemed disparaging, disrespectful, and threatening. James is an elected official, so she remains a regent through 2029, and her colleagues could vote to overturn her punishment at any time. Can you recall a time when you screwed up at work? Mine was several minutes ago. You watched it. But a moment to remember how that feels.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
A bit.
Sometimes you're reminded of it. An employee at City Park 9 Golf Course in Fort Collins made a mistake over the weekend, and it caused a big problem.
If you drive by on the road, you probably won't even notice anything being wrong with the fairways now.
The thing about a golf course is you expect the greens to be green.
Yesterday, they were turning brown. So today they look much greener. However, the grass is still dying.
Scott Phelps manages the city-owned golf courses for Fort Collins. He says a simple mistake killed the grass on the fairways at City Park 9 golf course.
There was a chemical application that was applied that included some fertilizer and wetting agents and growth regulators and an herbicide.
Now, on the 9-hole golf course, all 9 fairways are full of dead or dying grass, though you may not know it by looking at it.
We actually sprayed a dye on the fairways, which makes the fairways look greener than they actually are right now.
Making it look like Christmas in July out there, at least for the next few weeks.
Winter is going to look like it's coming early, although we'll probably continue to dye it green.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
The herbicide stays in effect for 8 weeks, so it's going to take that long before they can start to reverse the damage. They're estimating it's going to cost about $15,000 to repair.
In the meantime, they are knocking $10 off the price if you want to go play this summer because the place is not in peak condition, you know?
Don't look down.
Yeah, just
Yeah, straight
straight ahead.